Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. You know, I heard on television that Kevin McCarthy was talking about rearranging the system of guaranteeing that the government can continue to exist, and it's requiring that there's some pain and suffering that is extended toward the people. Now, we noticed that when Donald Trump was president, they were able to raise the debt continuously. I think they talk about it about 3 times. This is just as Donald Trump said when he was interviewed. He was president, and he wanted that to happen. When they asked him, well, you're not president now, what would you think is the proper thing to do? He said, well, not approve it. Why? Because he's not president, indicating that when he was president, he didn't care about the people, he was caring about himself. And when he's not president, he's not caring about the people, he's still caring about himself. And that's the evidence that he's saying, that you, the people, he couldn't say it any better. He could not have said it any better. You, the people, do not matter. And Kevin McCarthy was doing what Trump wants done, that is to cut down and raise, cut taxes, cut taxes so the corporations and those that are rich and who benefits from such do. And at the same time that you have to go to work. But what I want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, that's part of the original plan. And I'm not talking about man's plan. I'm talking about the divine plan. The divine plan is designed in such a way that every individual that comes up on this earth participate in living. That means that you have to receive such resources in order to survive. So you have to play a part in the process of creating enough of these resources together that everybody have these resources and can survive. These resources include food, clothing, shelter, education, healthcare. So when he's talking about you getting a job so you can get some little benefits that they're going to give you, and I call them little benefits because when you compare them with what you are entitled to, baby, it's nothing but a ripoff. And I want you to know that the spirit within says to me, to say to you, that it is a game that is being played. But at the same time, I want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, that based upon the records, based upon the evidence that we as a people have displayed throughout our eternity, indicates that this is going to be a rough ride. There was a time when someone was given to come to before you and speak to you about these same things that I just mentioned that are so essential for every individual on the face of the earth. Listen to me, I'm going to say it again. There was a time that someone came before you, the American people, to present to you exactly that which I have just presented to you a moment ago. And it was so disregarded, so neglected, no one ever heard about one point of it. And then a few years later, someone else came with the opposite perspective. And you could not get enough of it. Everything was put into it. And why was it put into it? Was it that this message was any different than the message that was coming before? No, it was no. The only difference is that one would make money and one would not. The one that would not make money, regardless of how good it could have been, regardless of how dynamic it could have been, it would not make any money. In other words, it might have undercut the ability for money to be made again. So when the choice was that you can make money, whether it was regardless of what the message was, but you can make money, it just so happened that the message was a message of division. It was a message of hatred. It was a message of racism and bigotry. It was a message of poverty and crime. It was a message of lying and cheating and stealing. And the people knew that it would make money. And so they made money. They propped this message down the throat of the people, and they're still doing it. Alternative truths, alternative lies, all the stuff that tears at the heart of your soul, they're still throwing it out there at you. Now, someone comes to you and say, when they talk about this work thing, now the door has been opened for the truth to step in and for you to see it. Now, will you see it? That's another story. Truthfully, if you do see it, I'm thinking that the evidence says that you're going to act like you don't see it. And for the most part, many of you won't see it. So that means you're going to keep on going down this track that's leading to your own destruction. You're going to be continuously empowering your own destruction. Why? Because you lack the truth. You lack the truth. So what do you do in a situation like this? You're lacking the truth. Well, honestly, I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to say it to you just like it came to me. It came to me that you, as the people of the world, not just as American citizens, and I'm not talking about Republicans and Democrats, I'm talking about human beings. You are going to reject the truth. Everything, even though many of you will claim to be accepting the truth, in reality, you will be rejecting the truth, because the evidence of your actions will reflect this. Why is that? It is because you don't understand what love is. Love, my friends, is living. Love, my friends, is giving. Love is life. 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 And where life is, there's no suffering. So love, where sees suffering, steps out to heal it. Hey. Where there's pain, love steps out. It shines, doing its thing, whatever that might be, to eliminate whatever the problem might be. That's what love does. Love shines. Love is like the sun. Love heals, my friends. And what I'm really saying is that what is the main thing that happens in our life every day that causes so much pain is our not knowing God. Not knowing God. I was talking to a friend of mine a moment ago about God. Oh man, I wanted to ask him some questions, but he had to step inside. He might step back out. But let me see if he's still